The mind is not evil, but when you identify with it, you lose yourself. Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. Mind, slave of ignorance or vehicle of enlightenment? We often hear about the need to transcend the mind or to regard it as the source of suffering. As the enlightened Nisargadatta Maharaj pointed out, it is not about denying or eliminating it. Instead, it is the art of understanding and illuminating the mind so that it becomes a skillful tool instead of an invisible chain. An enlightened person is never controlled by the mind. He uses it skillfully, like an artist uses a brush to paint a masterpiece, skillfully, precisely, but completely detached. This article will open a new and profound door, taking you into the worldview of Nisargadatta Maharaj to discover how the mind is used, subtle, full of wisdom, completely free and imbued with infinite compassion. The mind in the unconscious state, when the slave believes itself is the master. It is the mind that creates the world. But when the mind ceases, the world vanishes like a dream. Nisargadatta Maharaj. In the inner world of the unawakened, the mind is not a trusted companion, but an illusory echo of what you mistakenly believe yourself to be. We do not really live with the mind, but sadly, we live entirely within it, imprisoned by its constructs without knowing it. Just as a fish does not realize it is swimming in water, humans are constantly shaped and swept away by the endless, unceasing flow of thoughts. 1. The split mind, the illusion creator of duality. The human mind is not simply an information processor. It is the master builder of a dualistic world. It constantly divides everything with the invisible knife of distinction, me and the other, right and wrong, win and lose. Even more frightening, it makes you believe completely in the illusions it creates. When you look at someone and immediately label them, they are bad, they are better than me, they hurt me, you are not really seeing the real person. You are only seeing the reflection of your own mind, a thick layer of dust that obscures the truth. Maharaj explains it clearly: the world does not exist independently of the mind. There is no world outside your consciousness. This is not an invitation to deny life or to run away from reality, but a powerful wake-up call. Break free from the way you have been programmed to see things that are not true. The source of suffering is not the outside world, but the way your mind interprets and gives meaning to it. 2. The identical mind, the invisible chains of the illusory self. I am. This is one of the most dangerous phrases when it is followed by something you are not. From birth, our minds are trained to construct to me based on narrow definitions. I am a doctor. I am a failure. I am an outcast. All these labels are not necessarily wrong in a social context, but they are not your true nature. They are just temporary roles in the drama of life, and you are the invisible light illuminating the entire stage, not an actor. When you identify with a title, a profession, or a social role, you are locking yourself in a gilded cage, but a cage nonetheless. You do not have to do anything to be free. You only have to realize you have never been bound. Maharaj. The mind is not bad in itself. But when it is not recognized and understood, it becomes the deep root of suffering, separation, and the illusion of a false master. Awakening, when the mind dissolves into the light of reality. Once we have clearly recognized the deceptive games of the unconscious mind, we enter a radiant sacred space. Here, you no longer try to fix the mind, but instead learn to see through it, as through a thin veil. 3. Unconditional observation, the moment all chains are broken. Awakening does not begin with action or effort to change, but with pure, unconditional awareness. You do not have to try to change your mind. All you have to do is simply notice it, as you would a flickering flame, without interfering, without judging, and absolutely without trying to control it. And the miracle happens. When the bright light of awareness shines into the mind, it dissolves by itself, just as the dense fog dissolves at dawn. This is the first, most important step on the path to inner liberation. It is not about destroying the mind, but about withdrawing the blind trust you have placed in it for so long. Observation is not a technique, it is a return to your true nature, the formless seer. For no resistance, no pursuit, the absolute silence of the sky of consciousness. An awakened person does not try to control his or her thoughts, nor does he or she try to defeat or suppress them. He or she does not run away from the endless flow of thoughts. On the contrary, he or she sits still and lets them pass naturally, like clouds drifting across the vast sky. They do not need to destroy delusions, nor do they need to guide thoughts in the right direction. They become empty in vast space, where everything is allowed to exist, but nothing can possess or shape them. This is the noble middle way, where there is no compulsion, no passivity, only wordless clarity, absolute purity. Do not fight the mind. Do not follow it. Just look, and you will see nothing needs to change. Maharaj. The enlightened mind, the great servant of the immortal truth. The mind need not be destroyed. It need only be known as it is, and then it becomes the silent servant of being. Nisargadatta Maharaj. If in its state of ignorance the mind is a tyrannical controller, binding us to illusion and suffering, then in the radiant light of awareness it transforms into the purest and greatest servant of truth. No longer causing harm, no longer creating separation, the mind now becomes a continuous flow of wisdom, absolute precision and infinite compassion, functioning harmoniously, naturally like the carefree breath of the Tao. 5. The mind is a sacred lamp, illuminating without burning the darkness. The enlightened mind becomes like a lamp, it illuminates all actions, but leaves no shadow of attachment or ego. In the state of enlightenment, the mind is no longer used to search for anything outside or to react out of habit and emotion. Instead, it becomes a clear, pure mirror, capable of reflecting the truth clearly, without distortion, without attachment. The enlightened person uses the mind with subtlety and selflessness, just as a master artist uses his paintbrush. Living example from Maharaj's life. When Nisargadatta Maharaj preached, every word he spoke was as sharp as a sword, penetrating straight to the core of the matter, but without any personal feelings, judgments, or expectations. He did not speak to convince anyone to believe in his teachings, but to gently remove the veils of delusion for those who were ready to see. His mind was no longer a vehicle for the finite ego, but had become a pure channel of emptiness, of the formless truth. 6. The mind transforms into the supreme expression of awakened love. There is a profound but little spoken aspect of the love of an enlightened being. It does not arise from ordinary emotion, but from pure, limitless knowing. This love needs no reason or condition to exist. It is non-attachment, non-choice, and non-discrimination, because it flows naturally from complete freedom from all egoic attachments. I do not love you because of who you are. I love because I am no longer anyone. When the mind is freed from all notions of self, it becomes a pure instrument for expressing that unconditional love in compassionate words, selfless actions, forgiving eyes, and peaceful, silent presence. This is why Maharaj's teachings, though sometimes dry and brutally direct, are imbued with a deep, soul-stirring love, because that love comes not from the need to dominate or convince, but from absolute clarity, which is itself love. 7. The mind is a skillful gardener, caring without possessing. An enlightened person uses the mind to organize his life, to guide his actions, to interact with the world, but he never lets the mind dictate his inner motivations or master his core decisions. The enlightened mind functions like a skilled gardener. It knows when to prune away the unnecessary thoughts, the seeds of negativity. It knows when to let things be, allowing life to blossom on its own. And most importantly, it knows when to just stand there in silence, completely present and listening to the invisible, sacred pulse of life as it goes on. There is no desire to control or manipulate. There is no fear of consequences or the future. There is only the pure alertness of the mind, completely placed in the service of truth. Maharaj once summed it up very profoundly. I know I am not this body, not this mind, not anything you may think. I am the knowing that sees all, and when needed, the mind is used as an instrument, then returns to absolute silence, where it truly belongs. Practical application: harmony your mind in the light of living awareness. Mindfulness is not just meditating on the mountain. It is how you listen to others. It is how you wash your dishes. It is how you breathe. Nisargadatta Maharaj. Enlightenment is the wonderful ability to live fully in the flow of life without ever losing your presence. The mind, once enlightened and liberated, is no longer the control center of all things, but a natural, harmonious part of the rhythm of life. It serves, but never masters. 8. Stage 1. Observing thoughts as rippers on a quiet lake. Nothing needs to stop. Just look with love, without reacting. The first step of this journey is not to try to suppress or eliminate thoughts. The key is to clearly recognize that thoughts come and go. They float and dissolve naturally like clouds drifting across the sky, or ripples on a lake. Each thought is just a passing phenomenon. It is not you, and has absolutely no power over you. Deep practice. Choose a quiet space and settle into a still posture. When any thought arises, whether happy, sad, good, or bad, just silently note that is a thought. Absolutely do not comment on it, do not fight it, and do not follow it. Let it come and go. You just need to observe like a person standing on the bank of a river, silently following the endless flow of your inner self without interfering. When you practice deeply enough, you will touch a wonderful truth. The observer within you, your true nature, is invisible, unchanging, never affected by any external or internal fluctuations. 9. Stage 2. Discovering the sacred silence between two thoughts. Between two thoughts is the primordial silence, where God resides. When you are diligent enough in your observation, you will begin to realize a wonderful phenomenon. Between the successive streams of thoughts there always exist very small gaps, a wonderful silence full of potential. This silence is the magical door leading to the timeless reality, where the truth is revealed. Subtle practice. With each exhalation, let your mind gently slip into that moment of thoughtlessness. There is no need to try to prolong it. Just realize, oh, I am here. There is no thought. And I am still fully present. This is the state of no word or no speech, where you are still there, alive and complete, but no longer surrounded or defined by the layers of thought. This is where true freedom begins. 10. Stage 3. Using the mind like a master artisan with its tools. Once you have clearly seen that the mind is not the real I, and you have settled deeply enough in the infinite awareness, it is time to use it in a subtle way, but without any attachment or identification. I do not control the mind. It functions as a tool. When it is needed, it is used. When it is finished, it is released. Maharaj. The mind is not the master, but a versatile tool. It is the sharp pen with which you write words of love, meaningful poems. It is the clear tongue with which you share the truth, with which you impart wisdom. It is the silent, devoted soldier who helps you organize your life effectively, but is completely detached from the outcome or success or failure. Practical applications in life. When planning, use your mind to plan carefully, do your best, but then let go of any expectations about the outcome. When communicating, listen deeply, without judgment, instead of reacting automatically out of habit or prejudice. When creating, working, or teaching, let your mind become a pure stream, serving the life that flows through you, not serving the ego that wants to be recognized or honored. Go beyond the mind, return to the pure nameless source. You are not the mind, not the body, not the emotions, not even the I am. You are the knowing, beyond all names and forms. Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. 11. Let go of I am, touch in your nature before any perception arises. You are guided back to the primal sense of being, I am. But remember, even this I am is still a subtle sense, a trace of the mind, even at its deepest level. Even the sense of being, the I am, is just a transient guest. When the I am disappears, you return to the place where no I has ever existed, where space and time have all disappeared. This is the culmination of all teachings. Where all meditation techniques, all ideas of enlightenment, of liberation, must all disappear into nothingness. What remains is the nameless, the indefinite, the indescribable, the non-dual. It is your own timeless source, the absolute essence that cannot be reached by reason or language. 12. No practitioner, no path, no result, there is just complete reality. Once you have the courage to cross the threshold of I am, you will see the obvious truth. There has never been a real practitioner, there has never been a separate path to follow, and there has never been a real enlightenment or suffering. All that we think is real is just a fleeting phenomenon in the endless dream stream of the mind. I was never born. The world never really happened. There is only reality, whole, complete, nothing but itself, self-illuminating, self-illuminating. 13. When there is nothing left to let go, that's when everything begins to bloom. And miraculously, when your finite ego completely dissolves, the whole world suddenly blooms in endless freshness. When there is no separate you, then unconditional love, pure and immense, naturally arises and fills the universe. When there is no I am right, you are wrong, no more discrimination or judgment, then the calm sea of peace flows through your every glance, every step, every breath. You are no longer an independent witness. You are the great life itself, witnessing itself, manifesting in every form, every sound, every moment. In the complete dissolution of the self, God, or the absolute being, realizes himself. Conclusion: the last breath of a journey, the eternal whisper of freedom. Dear friend, the most beautiful, most precious thing that Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj left to humanity is the indescribable state of presence, the majestic stillness that he radiated. You do not have to make an effort to become someone enlightened. You just have to let go of everything you mistakenly thought you were, to return to what you were never not, to your absolute, pure nature. And then the mind, which was once a maze of illusions and attachments, now becomes a path open to all directions, a pure instrument for you to live as a silent light merging into the great dance of life. There is no need to try to become enlightened. Just see clearly, you have never been ignorant. 10 true quotes of Maharaj. 1. You are not in the world. The world is in you. You are not in the world. The world is in you. One of the most shocking statements that overturns the entire dualistic perception. The mind thinks it is the one living in the world, Maharaj points out. The world is just the content of your mind. 2. All you need is to get rid of the tendency to define yourself. All you need is to get rid of the tendency to define yourself. The self is created from definition. When you no longer define yourself, the ego collapses and freedom comes. 3. Wisdom is knowing I am nothing. Love is knowing I am everything. And between the two, my life flows. Wisdom is knowing I am nothing. Love is knowing I am everything. And between the two, my life flows. One of the most timeless, poetic sayings that unites Advaita Vedanta with the open heart of life. For the I am is the only link you have with reality. Hold on to it and let everything else go. The feeling of I am is the only link you have with reality. Hold on to it and let everything else go. This is the heart of Maharaj's entire teaching. No theology, no philosophy, just come back to I am. 5. You will receive everything you need when you stop asking for what you do not need. You will receive everything you need when you stop asking for what you do not need. This saying hits the heart of craving. The mind thinks it lacks, but only when you let go do you find yourself complete. 6. There is no such thing as peace of mind. Mind means disturbance. Restlessness itself is mind. There is no such thing as peace in the mind. The mind is restlessness. Restlessness is its very nature. A cold and profound truth: if you want peace, don't look inside your mind, look outside it. 7. When I look inside and see that I am nothing, that's wisdom. When I look outside and see that I am everything, that's love. When I look inside and see that I am nothing, that's wisdom. When I look outside and see that I am everything, that's love. The balance between the two extremes, inner selflessness and outer unity. 8. The real does not die, the unreal never lived. The real does not die. The unreal never lived. Maharaj dispels the fear of death with a powerful blow to false perception. 9. To know that you are a prisoner of your mind is the dawn of wisdom. To know that you are imprisoned in your mind is the dawn of wisdom. The first step to awakening is not meditation or prayer, it is to see the chains you have not noticed. 10. I am not the body, I am not the mind. I simply am. I am not the body. I am not the mind. I simply am. Minimal. Absolute. Eternal. This saying is the essence of every true religion, of every state of enlightenment.